1/5 of all Minecraft items need this farm. Hello there, Ray here. I'm designing an automatic farm for every item in the game of Minecraft, and bamboo is a game changer. Not only can you craft all these cool blocks, but you can actually use bamboo to craft 1/5 of all the items in the game of Minecraft. This is because it can be crafted down into planks as well as sticks. So if you could just get tons of bamboo, you can actually get tons of items. You can find your first bamboos inside jungles or in shipwreck chests. There's a couple different ways you can get large amounts of bamboo. First up, let's take a look at my efficient bamboo farm. This consists of a bunch of plants growing naturally on a bunch of dirt. Just build this near where there is players and it will automatically grow. The stalks can grow between 12 and 15 blocks, and when they get this tall, they're going to activate some redstone, which is going to come down here and activate this fly machine. That's going to automatically sweep across the entire thing, breaking them off so they drop as items. The items that kind of fall off to the side, we have just some simple water streams placed in, which will push them back towards the center. The fly machine itself is quite simple, can be made out of slime or out of honey blocks, and it just has 2 pistons with 2 observers. Once it reaches the opposite side, there's just a small mechanism which turns it around and sends it back. And you can make this farm as long as you want. I would recommend going over 8 chunks in one direction. And the next stage is when the machine actually reaches the very end. So at this point, any items that are stuck on top of the actual bamboo blocks will get pushed off so they can be collected. This occurs when the fly machine comes back, activates some redstone, which comes around and activates a bunch of hopper minecarts underneath. They'll sweep underneath and pick up all the items from above, and then they will return to drop them all off. I also have a manual override for the furnace minecarts. In case there is extra bamboo they want to get picked up, you can just flick that switch, then the hoppers will be constantly running back and forth. You can get all the needed rails by using my iron farm or gold farm or this rail duper. Once they go on top of this, they will automatically have their items be removed and placed down into any type of storage. Or you can go in like what I did here and have them being used for a fuel source into this mega furnace array. They go into the bottom slot and provide fuel, and then we can come in and place whatever items we want into this chest here, and it will automatically pick them up and distribute them throughout all the furnaces. Everything that is smelted up will automatically be taken out and stored in these chests down below. The cool thing about this furnace array, you can come in and power any of these hoppers underneath of the furnaces. That way when they finish cooking, the item will be stored in here. And if you happen to need some experience, I currently have 0, and you go ahead and pull this item out, you will get all the XPs from the items that were smelted through the entire system. So if you let this run in loaded chunks, it can store up tons of XPs inside the furnace, and then just coming by and pulling out the last items, you can get all of those XPs, easily getting you any amount of levels you ever need, which makes this a must-have not only for fuel but also for XP. If you're low on slime or honey, I also have a smaller version of it. It works the same way as the other one, where it just activates when it grows so tall, and it just sweeps through, breaking them off and collecting all the items underneath with a hopper minecart. This one I just use a single one, and of course you can really cheapen it up by spacing out the power rails. If you do find any items getting stuck on top, you can always build the walls taller, or you can come in and build in the water to sweep the items to the center so they get collected. And this one's great for smaller bases, or if you just need less wood or fuel or XPs. And the end here is a bit cheaper too, just using a single hopper minecart and a smaller system, but does the exact same thing as the other one, where you can do all the same features. With the addition of mud blocks, it means we can make some new types of farms, such as like my easy AFK fern farm, where anything broken on top can easily be picked up through the mud block using hoppers. Using the same mechanic, I designed a new type of bamboo farm that doesn't even need hopper minecarts. It's based off of the same mechanics as my previous one, where you either have the bamboo naturally grow up and then get broken off with a piston, or you have it being bone milled and then also being broken by piston and collected. So first off, we're going to come in with our lovely mud block here, and we're going to have our bamboo that actually grows right above it. So when it breaks off, it can easily be picked up by the hopper underneath, and all the items put into this lovely barrel. We're going to have another hopper over here to prevent items from clipping out. Now we're going to encase this entire thing with glass, because one thing is when pistons move all about, they have a tendency of making items actually clip outside the area. To pick up any items that might get clipped out, we also have a hopper which is going to be sitting just underneath this piston, because sometimes items try to clip through the piston and that hopper will pick those up. We're going to have a grindstone so items don't sit on top of the piston. We're also able to escape if they get stuck in behind the piston head when it's moving back and forth. Now we're going to continue the glass upwards, and we're going to place glass here as well as over here, and this is just going to be the final areas where the bamboo can grow. Now we're going to close this side off so the items don't sneak out through this corner. And on this side, we're going to have a sticky piston, which is going to be used to turn it on and off. In front of that, we're going to have one observer pointing upwards, and we're going to have one also pointing downwards. Then we're going to have this one be a solid block. And down here, we're going to have another block where we're going to have redstone. This redstone is going to be pointing over to where we're going to have our dispenser. So we remove that block and place in the dispenser. It's going to be pointing directly into the bottom of the bamboo, ready to bone mill it. Now you just come in and add in your on-off switch for this piston right here by having a lever in the back. Now we're ready to place in our bone mill. You can always add in more hoppers and storage to put as much as you need. And just like that, it's automatically working. And because this farm runs on bone mill, you don't need the player with their random ticked area around them. Then you can hook it up with my infinite bone mill farm. This can also run without players, so you can build this inside of spawn chunks and it can run 24/7 on server. You can also tile this as much as you want, and this also means that my azalea tree farm, which is infinitely automatic, used to be the best way to get tons and tons of wood. But as you can see, this thing is much more complicated than just coming in with a simple bamboo farm. This also needs TNT dupers to be infinitely automatic, but now with bamboo, we don't even need these. Now when you do turn this off over here, you might have items that get stuck on top of the piston there, and we just have a lever here. Once we do this, items will fall downwards and be collected. But if you don't want to use bone mill to get bamboo, alternatively, you could have the bamboo naturally grow up. So we won't have that, and we won't also have this, and we'll just replace all of this with just some glass, like so. Then where we had glass here, we're just going to replace that with an observer, and that's going to point into a block. We'll have a block down here and a redstone right there. And then we'll fill in this corner with glass, and it should be good to go. So now when the bamboo grows up over time and naturally, it will eventually reach that observer, which will activate the piston and break it into items, and it'll be collected, all without needing some bone mill. And this farm is tileable. For each of the farms, it produces around 18 bamboo per hour per plant. So the bigger you make your farm, the more you'll get. Subscribe and share this with your favorite Minecrafter. Then check out my quest on how I'm farming up every item in the game of Minecraft in this playlist here, or this one all about complex farms. Because of you, I'm able to share my passion for the game to thousands of people. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.